Okay, I put our sun tea outside. A couple of things that I need to mention about that is we've got a really cloudy day out there. But according to the instructions that you can find anywhere about solar cooking, we still should have enough sunlight that it will indeed make our tea for us. That it'll warm the water up enough that it will brew the tea. The second thing I want to tell you about that is the tea bags that I just put in that tea. When you get ready to fix your tea and have it to drink, don't throw those tea bags away because I'm going to use them for an art project in another video in this training session that's going to be about arts and crafts. So I'll be using it in an art project, so do not get rid of those tea bags. All right, Pat's going to show us how to make a hot dog cooker out of a Pringles can so that we can cook solar hot dog as well.
This is fun for girls to do, and since it doesn't involve fire or anything other than cutting the knife part of it, which for younger girls a leader can help with. But basically, then the instructions are going to be available to you. Basically, it's going to be a hot dog on a skewer in a Pringles can, and you set this out in the sun. You can rotate it so that it's pointed right toward the sun, and it should cook. If you've got good sun and a nice day, it should cook just in 15-20 minutes, which is good. You can also rotate it because it's on a skewer. Basically, you start with a Pringles can, empty, of course.
Your girls will help you take care of that.
Yes. And you're going to cut out a rectangle. And so what I did was just kind of use the information label as a guideline, and you can draw these on there for girls to use. Load that back up for me. And then it takes a sharp knife, and this is where depending on how advanced the girls are in safety, you can use just a sharp knife, or I just had a box cutter, which was handy. And then you're going to cut out this triangle shape. Okay, then in the top and the bottom, you're going to have to make a hole that the skewer will fit through. And you can use a hammer and nail. The handout actually is going to say use a drill, but again, with girls, I'm just happy with the hammer and nails is a fine alternative. But you're going to make a hole in the top and the bottom that the skewer will fit through. And on the Pringles can, there's a little thing that shows you where the middle is, which is handy.
It's like they knew we were going to make a hot dog cooker out of that.
Okay, so again, there's a hole in the bottom and the top, and you're going to use skewers. Grocery store available. These I found are good and heavy, and they're pointed on one end, which is really handy when you're going to stick it in through a hot dog. So then you're going to put it through the bottom first, and then put your hot dog on till it's kind of in the middle of your window. Then you're going to put your top on. No.
Okay.
And this, if you want to make sure they're cooked well, you can actually rotate them this way.
This is so cool.
Then what you want to do is put it outside, hopefully with the sun directly over your rectangle. Then if you want to, and you don't have to, you can actually take a piece of film and put over it. I don't do that, but it's something that you can do if you want to increase sanitation. Then you're ready to go. And the girls can do this individually if you've got enough Pringles cans.
All right, you know, we mentioned girl planning and everything. You know, to make sure that you include that and that you're not just doing
The
it.
handout's going to look like this.
We decided that we knew what our menu was going to be as leaders, that we're going to take these girls camping, and we just like, well, we knew exactly what we were going to do.
We were studying solar.
There you go. So, but in order to make girl planning a part of that, even though we knew ultimately what our menu is going to be, we need to make them a part of that from the very beginning. Now we're talking about, you know, our youngest girls that we're taking on this trip where we're doing this type of cooking. So we have some decisions that they get to make. What do they like on their hot dog? So, you know, we'll have a mustard, ketchup, pickles, everything, you know, we'll have a list, and, you know, they may even come up with some crazy stuff that they like on their hot dog, or they're just being silly and coming up with chocolate chips. But then they can vote for the two items that they want to choose to put on their hot dog. So perhaps it might be mustard and ketchup that they vote for. So we'll go with that. Also, then they might decide like what to drink other than tea. Maybe they don't like tea.
Maybe like peach tea.
Or do they like sweet tea or unsweet tea? That might be a decision that they get to vote on. So then it makes them have that sense of they were a part of the planning process for that particular thing. Now the council has a really cool it's called Camp Cookery book. It's got all kinds of recipes in it, and one of the pages back toward the back is really cool, and what does it say at the top of it? It says
Cookout menu.
Cookout menu plan. So it has what you're going to have, what ingredients you need, what equipment you need, any other details that will help you in that meal planning. So not only do you need to have the girls see you, maybe if they're old enough to do they can spell and write, you know, if they've been in school a little bit, they can even write these things out in these different spaces and everything, or they can see where you have written it. And that's the good thing for the planning. And then that gets them used to the whole process of thinking it all the way through as to what has to happen in order to make that cookout meal.
Yeah. And your goal is, as the girls get older, that you would be able to give them the Camp Cookery book or any cookbook and say, what do you want to have? And they would choose what menu they want to have. They would have to figure out what ingredients go in it, how much of each thing they need. So they would come up with a shopping list, basically, and then actually buy it. And one thing I've done, if they forget something until they get way up, I take it, but I don't put it in the things they want. So they go, oh, we forgot the salt, but I have it. But then as they get older, Tino says, nah, just don't get it at all. They have to make do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I have a cute little tale to tell you about the girl planning part of the menu. When I was a camper at resident camp in the summertime, it was the last session. We were going on an overnight hike, and at that time the camp had available trail food where it's like dehydrated and you just add water and boil the water, make the meal. And by the last session, there weren't a whole lot of choices left in the trail food. And
Only the things that nobody liked.
Exactly. And that particular time, it was chicken a la king was the one menu item that nobody ever wanted to have at their camp out. Well, that was all that was left. And I must say that our counselors were brilliant in the way they handled it, because there was no choice. We were going to have chicken a la king. So they presented it in a way of said, well, we have 3 choices for what we're going to have to eat for supper on our trail. And and we need you to vote on which one you want. So we have chicken a la king, we have chicken a la king, and we have chicken a la king. And so we had a good laugh about it. Everybody did, but yes, we ended up with chicken a la king for our particular meal that time. So the grill planning is always needs to be something that you think about.
Actually, in everything you do,
That's
troop
true.
meetings, picking what you're going to have for snack, whatever, girl planning is key because that's how they learn.
Okay.